I've been thinking a lot lately about how to expand my garden space. Not necessarily by adding more beds, but by looking at the spaces I already have a little differently. And the more I thought about it, the more I started looking at my front porch. It's one of those areas that's just kind of been there, but it hasn't really been doing anything for me. And I realized I don't just want more space. I really want a spruced up outdoor living space that still has some garden worked into it. Somewhere I can sit, enjoy the plants, maybe bring my laptop out here, and actually use the space. In this video, I want to walk through how I've updated my front porch to be more functional and beautiful at the same time. I'm hoping this video might inspire you to start a garden on your front porch or anywhere you might have some outdoor space. I'll walk you through the planters, the plants I've planted, and even the furniture. I've got to share this furniture with you because I absolutely love it, and I think it's going to last a really long time here in Florida. So let's get right into it. My husband and I both had our own frustrations with the front porch previously. I kind of hated the furniture. It wasn't my choice. The cushions weren't very comfortable, and we didn't really maintain it very well, so it always felt like dirty and uninviting. I never wanted to sit in it. My husband is very much a minimalist when it comes to furniture, and he thought it was too much and too crowded. So my priority was definitely to make use of the space in an intentional way with very minimal products. I didn't want lots of different things going on. So the first thing I chose was the elevated planter. This is the Vigo Garden Slim Series elevated raised bed. It measures 1.5 feet deep, so it's pretty narrow. And then it's 5.5 feet wide, which is really nice for the size of this window. I wanted to make sure that it was wide enough for the window because I think it looks kind of funny when you have a big window like this and your table or your planter or whatever's in front of it is only like a small, like half the size of the window, you know? So this was perfect, and this is the color Pearl White. It was a little bit challenging for me to assemble. I'm no handyman, let me tell you. I am no handyman. I'm bad at tools. And there were two types of bolts, but they look almost identical, and so I assembled the whole thing almost with the wrong bolts. And then once I was short the number of bolts, I finally realized what I did, and I had to disassemble it and reassemble it all over again. So be really careful reading the instructions and making sure you're using the right part when you assemble it. As we're talking about adding some garden space to my front porch, I want to take the opportunity to share with you an app that my husband has been developing over the past couple months. I've been working hard putting my planting guide in this app. It's called Taproot, and I'll put a link in the description box below so that you can get your hands on it. It's an app with a database to my planting guide and also a way for me to share all of my gardens with you. So you'll always have access to see what plants are in which gardens on my property, and then you can share your garden with me as well. And although I'm the very first creator in this app, we're going to be branching out and finding other creators in other spaces across the country to create their own planting guides in the app to help get all of your favorite creators in the app. It's going to be like the new social media of gardening. I'll be talking about it quite a bit more in my upcoming videos, but I wanted to give you guys the first glance. I'll put a link in the description box below to share how you can get access to this app, and there's a 7-day free trial, and after that there's a small monthly subscription cost so that you can have access to the community aspects of it and my planting guide, and you can also modify that planting guide to add your favorite varieties, and I can add more of mine as they change over time. Check it out in the description box below. Now, when it comes to the plants, we have to also think about the sun, especially if we're in a space like a front porch. So there's a big ceiling above me, so it's not getting any overhead light. It's really getting the morning sun that comes from this direction, and then at about noon, it's really not getting any light. So I wanted to choose some partial sun plants in here. I went with a lot of flowers and herbs and even some lettuces because I think as we're moving into late spring and early summer for Florida, my best chance at growing lettuces without them bolting is going to be in the shade. So here we have edging lobelia, hold on, I looked up the pronunciation for this. Lobelia. It grows these nice blue flowers right here, and they're frequently used for a trailing or a draping type of application in a hanging planter or something like that. So I thought it would be really nice to put those on the edge of the raised bed. And then right behind it, I have a whole lot of moss rose portulaca, which is also frequently used as like an edging type flower. The colors are different on that plant. The portulaca is orange, pink, and yellow. So we're gonna have to see if those colors look nice together or kind of clash. It's gonna be a bit of an experiment. And I know they're not flowering yet, but I grew these myself from seed. I started them about 6 weeks ago, and they're just not quite flowering yet. We're gonna have to give them a little bit more time before we really see how they look. And right behind the portulaca, I have a whole bunch of English thyme. I started the thyme from seed about the same time as the lobelia and portulaca. And I love thyme. It's such a beautiful little herb, and it also smells wonderful. And I just feel like I always need more of it, so I was really excited about planting it in here. Behind that, I have a whole lot of mesclun lettuce. It's actually from the thank you packet for botanical interests, so I'm going to link all of these seeds in the description box below, so you can get a hold of them if you'd like as well. Behind the mesclun, we have Gaillardia. Now, I'm not sure it's going to do that well in this space because the seed packet says it needs full sun. We're going to try it and see if it works out. And then right behind Gaillardia, we have Gazania. Gazania, I think, is going to be the tallest one, and so I put it in the back. I filled up this elevated planter bed with Happy Frog potting soil, which is one of my favorites, and then I added some worm castings from Eaten Worms. If you guys haven't checked out that video of my tour of Rodney's space for the Eaten Worms, you got to check it out. I'll link it right here. And then I also added some balanced fertilizer. It's an organic vegetable fertilizer from Down to Earth. And then I planted these in here. It took a while actually because there's so many transplants. And then I mulched as well. And I want to talk about the watering too. The watering system, I didn't want to run drip over here because then you would see like the drip line somewhere on the house, right? So I went with a watering Oya. These are clay pots that are buried in the soil, and then you fill it up with water, and it's a porous clay so that water will slowly seep out of the clay pot and into the soil, and simultaneously your plant roots will grow, and actually over time they'll learn to attach to the clay pot itself, and they get water that way. So it's great for something like this where you don't want to run drip, but you do want some sort of water reservoir. If we didn't have a water reservoir, I'd be watering every day, and that's not going to work whenever I go away for, a night or two, or really just for my memory. I'm not great at watering things every single day. I need some help. I want to mention how nice the height is on this planter bed. I'm about 5'2", and you can see it's coming right up to my waist, which was really nice when it came time to transplant all of these plants in. This was a lot of different transplants. I think I did over 100 different small plugs in this planter. If I were doing that in a short raised bed, I'd be bending over and my back would be so sore. So I'm really grateful that it's a higher height, and it also looks, more like it makes more sense next to the window like that. Vego Garden was nice enough to give me an exclusive discount code to give you guys 10% off any elevated raised garden bed in the series. So I'm going to put a link in the description box below, and I'll put my code right here so you can buy the same one, or you can find one that fits your space. There's really a lot of different options as far as the width and the depth. Now let me share the furniture choices I've made in this space. I bought 2 rocking chairs for this space. And you might think that's weird because we have a family of 5 and I only got 2 chairs. But trust me when I say that my kids don't do a lot of sitting still on a porch. So my priority was to provide a seat for me and a seat for my husband. And the kids will just be playing on their scooters and their bikes out in the front yard or in the cul-de-sac. There is a bench over there that I'll get into in a little bit, and that's for them if they do choose to sit down. This is the Polywood Vineyard Deep Seating Rocking Chair, and man, the comfort level is off the charts. I have spent so many years being frustrated at my furniture because it wasn't what I really wanted and it wasn't comfortable. So I really looked long and hard at different options on the market. This is what I settled on. These cushions are so comfortable. If you've never looked at Polywood furniture, it's really pretty interesting. So it's made out of an HDPE plastic, and this particular one is in the Polywood Select. There's different levels of color and grain imitation that they do. Polywood Select is the top tier for how realistic or how wood-like it looks. And so there's actually, like, you can feel the grain on the armrest and on the rest of the frame, and it feels like a wooden frame. And the color, they actually do this, what's called a true tone hue. It's a special process to look like it has a little bit of color variation like a real wood looks. But the benefit here is that it doesn't fade over time. You can wash it with soap and water if you want. You could spray it off if you want. And it's pretty much always going to be ready for company. And that's really what I was looking for. I have so much maintenance to do when it comes to the plants that I wanted the furniture to be maintenance free. So if you're looking for something similar, check out Polywood. I'm going to put a link in the description box below in case you're interested in buying the same one. This color is the natural color in Polywood Select, and the seat it's called natural linen, and the cushions are an all-weather fabric, and this is the natural linen color. I also spent a lot of time looking at the different end tables that Polywood offers. I have the Long Island version in the backyard, and I was looking for one that was a little bit more sturdy and beefy feeling, and then I came across the Newport 19-inch round end table. This one looks really sturdy, and I think it has a really nice natural wood look when you do the natural Polywood Select color options. And I just put a little pot here because the reality is this has to be functional for me and my husband, and my vision of how I'm going to use the space is certainly sitting here drinking tea or coffee, water, or maybe some wine in the evenings. And sometimes I'm going to want to use this table to hold like a tray of seed starts or hold my laptop or something like that. And so I went with just one simple planter on top of the end table. So I only have one planter to move versus like a whole bunch of stuff on the table. Now, I felt like I was almost done with redecorating the front porch yesterday, but it still felt like it was missing something, so I took a trip over to my local Target, and I found the perfect outdoor rug. This is a 5-foot by 7-foot outdoor rug with some nice natural colors and a pop of green. I love green. I don't know if you guys can tell, but green is clearly my favorite color. I use it everywhere. So I thought that would be nice for some pattern, and then those throw pillows that are dark green, I thought added a nice touch of something to break up that really bright white on the chairs. Now I also have this small section by the front door, and I wanted to do something minimal and functional, but not too much. This is the 48-inch planter bench from Polywood, and this is the color teak. You can see this color is quite a bit darker than the chairs over there, and I'm going to show a close-up of the grain so you can see the difference in the lower level Polywood grain and the upper level Polywood grain. This is something that I figured was going to solve so many issues for us. It's also probably where I'm going to put my laptop when I'm out in the driveway filming videos about my green stock or my Easy Cube planter. And this Easy Tomato planter is also from Vigo Garden, and I haven't used it, but they actually sent it to me as a Christmas gift. This is a self-watering planter, so I didn't need an Oya, which was really nice. I love the Vigo Garden self-watering series. There's always a gauge and a port to make it really easy to fill it up. and it works really well. The tomato plant is really happy. I went ahead and did a little companion planting with some basil right here and some French marigolds right there. So I think that about covers the front porch redecoration. I'm hoping you guys found some inspiration for your own space by watching this video, or at least some entertainment for a little while. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.